Some of you might be wondering where I've been for the past few months. Well, I have to admit, I went to the dark side. To WoW Classic Hardcore. That's right, it's 2004 all over again. It's the vanilla version of World of Warcraft with the added challenge of permadeath. Basically, after stumbling down a rabbit hole of death compilations in hardcore, I just couldn't stop myself. Despite everything inside of me telling me it was a bad idea, that the last time I even thought about WoW Hardcore was when I was watching Mad Seasons die tragically to a disconnect in the shadow of Black Rock Mountain. Now, little teenage me never actually got to level 60, so I gave myself a challenge. Just hit 60. So what you're about to see is my hardcore journey in a shocking ending that involved the entire WoW hardcore scene. This is my journey through hardcore. So let's talk about WoW Classic in general. Some of the best parts of Classic WoW, in my opinion, are the slower pace, meaningful upgrades that come pretty infrequently, class fantasy, and exploring, questing. And then there's the challenge mode of hardcore. Why would you play a character if you're going to die and lose all your progress? No! Personally, I think the thrill of permadeath at this point with this game is the only way I can feel anything. The extra threat of losing all your progress is a really good way of getting engaged with this simplistic old game that seems easy for a lot of people. But as it turns out, even just pulling one extra mob can be dangerous. It really makes you consider how you approach challenges, come up with strategies, backup plans, and try to play clutch to survive when you need to, or just roach out on your team. So I set off on my Orc Rogue on Doomhowl, the same server as a little streamer guild called OnlyFangs. I figured with a bunch of big streamers on the server that the population would be nice and high, meaning more dungeon groups, more items on auction houses, and more party members to use as human shields during elite quests.
Need gold!
I went forth, I got my quests, and started killing mobs.
Hello there.
Of course, a respawn right when I get in combat. Walker doesn't go away.
Bruh.
Oh, I'm dead. Void Walker doesn't go away, I'm dead. I died. And it was to one of the top killers in hardcore, I'll have everybody know. But level 10 was nowhere near my goal. So we went again. And so Saintbillion was born. And this time, I survived Durotar. Questing was pretty easy. My rogue was familiar, it was my main back in the day, but I was definitely nervous going into a dungeon, Ragefire Chasm. But we finished it easily. I completed the Cat's Eye Emerald quest.
First try!
It was around this time when my friend and legendary Doom speedrunner, King Dime, just mailed me a rare sword out of nowhere. Dime just sent me a Shadow Fang? I wasn't even here, he just mailed me and left. Hail to the king, baby. So to Wailing Caverns I went.
Yes.
For Durotar!
For Durotar! Even though I had ran this dungeon hundreds of times in the past, I was still nervous. I'll be there soon. I forgot some devious mechanics, like the Druid sleep spell, or jumping here literally pulls a giant hallway of patrols.
I'm in danger!
Level 20, let's go. Holy hell. And after a few close calls, we got it done. In 2 dungeons, I had seen no deaths. I continued questing and leveling and eventually learned the most important skill a rogue can learn in classic hardcore. Vanish. Being able to go stealth at any point is priceless. As a rogue, if you have Vanish, Sprint, Evasion, or Blind Up, you can never die. I can never die. I went to Stone Talon Peaks and came across one of the best BOE blues you could get as a rogue.
What the hell?
Then I was off to Ashenvale, which was as perilous as it was beautiful. Rested XP ran me right into a quest to kill Sharp Talon, a named mob 3 levels higher than me, with advice like kite to the town guard, or do it later, idiot. But headstrong as I was, I thought I could handle it solo. Not even close. Not even close. To Thousand Needles I went, where there's a leap of faith quest that genuinely feels like it's going to troll you. You just don't feel like you can trust the mechanics of the game, which is probably a good thing. And I didn't capture a lot of moments like this, but there were many times in the wilderness where players would just help you out with nothing to gain. Many people in hardcore really actually look out for each other and are extremely friendly. They're probably all high as fuck dads. In Arathi Highlands, I received a stroke of luck adding to my coffers of gold, which is kinda shit compared to other swords. But still, a sale on the auction house nonetheless.
Hey there.
Fuck this shit, I'm out.
Good day to you. See you later.
Before I knew it, I was in Razorfen Downs, a dungeon full of pigs. I don't know if I kept getting lucky with my groups, but we competently got through it, no problem. In fact, another pair of BOEs dropped for Rogue.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
When I dinged 40, I got my wolf.
Yes, yes, yes. Yes, look at this guy. You've got a wolf. Very definitely a wolf.
And it's not just one wolf.
And I felt like I had my rotations down. And I was realizing that I pretty much wouldn't get any new abilities for the rest of the game. Rogue is pretty smooth and simple like that, like my brain. I was doing well lucratively. I had enough gold to buy a phantom blade. When you sheath it, it goes on your back. And that's worth. I even sprung a little bit extra to put a fiery enchant on it. It got to the point where I realized, as a rogue, I had to level my lockpicking. So I went to Angor Fortress in the Badlands. There's even Baron Geddon Jr. just sitting around, elite mob. But today something was different. It was March 12th. It turns out that Blizzard servers were getting attacked through DDoSing, overloading the servers, lagging people out, even in hardcore. Now what happens when you get disconnected while in combat? Your character stays in the world and takes damage.
Nope.
So I was lucky to have been able to A, log back in, B, only been fighting greens, and C, vanished and only ran into the one extra enemy. Many thousands of characters died during this mass disconnect.
Look at all the people dying!
It was definitely time to log off for the night. The next day though, I logged right back on. It came time to start spamming Zul'Farrak, the voodoo troll dungeon in the desert.
Big heals on me! Big heals on me! You can't listen!
ZF turned out to be not too bad.
I got a ring in there last night.
I was fully enjoying my time in Hardcore Classic. The vibes were immaculate. I look forward to my late night leveling sessions, a few hours a day, rediscovering vanilla, meeting new people, and improving my character bit by bit. Eventually, I hit level 52, and it was time to head to Searing Gorge, where I got my first real sight of Blackrock Mountain, home of vanilla endgame content. I went forth, I got my quests, and started killing mobs. I performed my opener, as I had done 1,000 times before.
He's just standing there, menacingly!
What happened? Dead? We're dead, dude. No way. This way. Look.
And that was it. That's how it ended. No panic moment from pulling too many mobs at once. No miscalculating my abilities against a stronger enemy. No accidental falling to my death. Or some other blunder of my own or my group's undoing. Just a quick little DC at the wrong time. Something that just happens in this game. Whether it's your first ever time playing classic WoW or a 40-person raid.
Один лог живой. Казах заспавнился, кто хочет, мужики.
Is this the game?
Yes. I died to something completely stupid and outside of my control. And now I could finally move on to greener pastures. But that's when I was on the intertubes, and I saw that something big had happened just before my death. As it turns out, the day of my disconnect death, the streamer guild we mentioned before, OnlyFangs, was running Blackwing Lair. They were targeted by DDoS attackers, overloading the servers and disconnecting them during their Ebonrock poll, killing 17 level 60 raiders. But it wasn't just them who felt the effects. Similar to the March 12th DDoS attacks, it was yet another day of reckoning for hardcore. Now, Blizzard doesn't actually roll back a death for any reason. So in a future where DDoS attacks are a near certainty, especially for streamers, leveling up again just to get DDoSed wasn't appealing. OnlyFangs made a decision to end their guild.
I'll ask around, I'll see if things can get fixed, but if this is just how it is, then yeah, that's the end.
It seemed like griefers had won this battle, and the players were not happy. With the OnlyFangs wipe on display for millions of people on YouTube, Twitch, and other social media, Blizzard couldn't avoid the PR disaster. How can a billion-dollar company not prevent this? Or at the very least, revive characters who died as a result of these attacks? Well, the very next day, they announced that they would review and revive hardcore characters who died as a result of disconnects from March 22nd to March 24th. OnlyFangs died on the 23rd, and I had died that night, early morning of the 24th. So a few days went by of anticipation for many people, when suddenly, it started happening.
Yo! Holy shit, I'm alive!
What? He lives!
Oh, you see that? Second loading screen, baby!
Oh my god, I'm alive!
She's alive. Oh, they're all alive.
Oh, dog, you're alive! Hey, if you're all alive, then surely Wimp Low. A wimp! Oh.
I actually kind of expected this. If you're ever in a situation where you have to rely on Blizzard Activision to do the right thing, your expectations need to be lower than dinosaur bones. And I know what you might be thinking. Did this guy really just make this whole video to complain about not getting resurrected? Yes. I had to recognize that this service was mainly for the streamers who died. To sum up the 2025 Scroll of Resurrection, all the streamers' characters were revived. Some non-streamers were revived, but not all. And some player characters who died in normal circumstances, not to a disconnect, also got revived, which is hilarious. And to me, this was just a statement to the players saying, if you're not a streamer, you're lucky if you got revived.
You are all nothing!
So ironically, when the attackers targeted OnlyFangs, they actually didn't kill any of them. They only killed a bunch of nobodies like me. Which is kind of the actual reason for this video. I don't really care that my character died. I can move on. But there are a lot of other people who have said they are still dead, screaming into the void, never to be heard again. It does suck to feel like paying the same subscription cost doesn't get you the same customer support as an influencer.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
We have done it.
Guys, thanks for fun times. I'll see you in season 3. GG's. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Blizzard, for rezzing everybody.
They fucking rezzed us.
Is
Lot
it
more
plot armor
improvement needed.
crazy? We actually got res from DC.
Blizzard.
And to be clear, I'm not upset with OnlyFangs. They were just trying to play the same game I was. Actually, if OnlyFangs had not been broadcasting their wipe to millions of people online, no one would have gotten a resurrect from Blizzard. Unlike March 12th, those characters are dead as dirt forever. If it's the server's fault, that should be a no question resurrect, especially if you have video evidence. Which I did. So, I appealed it. As a last-ditch effort to leave no stone unturned, I made a support ticket. I mean, I wasn't playing the game during this time, so the support system's kind of like DLC. You actually can't appeal hardcore deaths. The support menu even still says no one will be revived for any reason. Man, they should probably change that now. I gave them the video, and I put in the blue post talking about the resurrection announcement. And a GM got back to me. They told me their concerned team is still working on revives. Another couple days went by, still dead. Another couple days went by, and I reopened the ticket. And they recommended to try logging in over and over, and to try using an unstuck service, which I felt like was a troll response, but I think they were trying to help. But this time, when I logged in, on April Fool's, after using character unstuck after a week of being dead, my corpse was just gone. Completely. From Azeroth. That seemed like the final nail in my hardcore coffin. Ultimately, I opted not to go again. In conclusion, I don't regret my time with WoW Classic Hardcore. It was comfy, leveling up, meeting new people, and interacting with a living, breathing world. Permadeath just makes you play more thoughtfully. If you're lucky, you'll die with some honor. But when you're at the mercy of random disconnects, you're just out of luck. Until Blizzard puts more resources towards customer support in situations like this, WoW Classic Hardcore is a poor product. The game mode isn't dead or anything, it's just a poor product. But personally, I don't want to commit any more time or money to a game that ultimately won't have my back. The griefers have shown how Blizzard can bleed and showed their true bloody colors. Green. Back to Durotar? More like back to Limzo. But for me, it's back to the real world, where my connection to reality is unbearingly stable. And there's even permadeath, I think. I don't know, I haven't died. Till next time, I'm out. Peace.